Can you see me, everyone? Anyone see me? Or hear me? I'm sure there's another button I'm supposed to press. Oh, yay! Thank you, Christy. Good morning. Thank you, Karen. Okay, and okay, I did something last night with the screen and everything was crazy. Oh wait, where I'm sitting in the dark. There we go. There we go. Sorry, ladies, just 1 second. Woo! Now, that's bright. Okay. Good morning, everyone. So, we had a lot of people on pattern, stitch pattern 19. How's everyone doing with pattern 19? I know that, what is that? Okay, that's my mic. I was like, I was moving things, so I'm like, what is that with me? It's my mic. Oh. So this is how far I have, wait, is that the right side? Yeah. Let's see. Chrissy, you just finished 19. Awesome. Okay. 19 is very pretty with those baubles. Bit of a pain in the butt a little bit learning it. But that's what we're here for. Isn't this pretty? This is 27. Wait. Yeah, the purple is 27. I've got my separating stitch. Oh, you you know what? So did I. I woke up early to knit too, Christy. I think it was like 6 in the morning. I didn't go to bed until 2 last night. I mean, why do I do those things to myself? Oh, okay, so Karen, oh, we got a big long thing from Karen. It says, Karen says, was going super great last night. Then I started watching TV. Oh no, Karen! And dropped a stitch. Oh no! And could not find it. Normally I am great at fixing my mistakes. Brain fog. I could not see it. So I had to rip out 12 rows. Oh! I agree with Christy. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Karen. It better have been a really good show, right? So, oh man. Yeah. Christy says to use a lifeline. You know what, Christy? I don't use lifelines. I haven't mastered the art of using a lifeline. It's on my to-do list. I even wrote it down in our instructions here on one of these. Yeah, right there it says lifelines. So, okay, so Karen says she always uses a lifeline. Ripped it back to the lifeline. Well, thank goodness for that lifeline. Holy smokes. That's true. Okay. Because she was watching Queen of the South TV show. I've not heard of that. You know what? Actually, I don't have TV. Isn't that weird? Yeah, lifelines are great. I'm not a beginner knitter. It's just I've never gotten in the habit of using them, and that's probably a bad habit. So now I need to learn, which might be difficult because I'm like set in my ways. Do you know what I mean? So, but I'm willing to give it a try if it avoids having to rip, because honestly, I ripped like right back to the green 3 times last night. And I had probably, you know, a good ways, probably up to about here at one point here, one point just a little bit into this. And, you know, the dogs were bugging me and jostling my elbow, and and the kids needed attention. Of course, they come first. And same with the doggos. So everything just kind of went, yeah, I know, Karen. Yeah, 3 times. Yeah. Wouldn't that have been nice if I actually had put in a lifeline? So then I wouldn't have to go all the way back. Yeah. That was frustrating. And so that's why I was knitting until 2 in the morning, trying to get, into this pattern, because I for some reason with my brain power, I find this one really like brain consuming, or not brain. Ooh, that sounds like a zombie or something. No, I like you have to be hyper. For me, I have to be hyper focused on this, because if I'm not, I'm ripping back 3 times, right? So I had to really like mindfully, and I love mindfulness, but I was doing, wait, you can't see it that way. I was doing like stitch by stitch by stitch, and really looking at them and making sure. And then when I went to the wrong side row, it's the wrong side row that's giving me problems in pattern 27. Yeah, it's like I would do the right side row, and I'm like, that's done. Yay, let's do the wrong. Start the wrong, lose where I was, and then I'm like, no biggie, I'll just look at the stitch below to find out what it is. I normally work in the round, so when I work in the round, it's super easy for me to, you know what I mean, like to look where you are and look down, and oh yeah, it's over, yarn over. Oh, I don't normally work back and forth like flat, so I couldn't figure it out, and I'd be like, I cannot rip this again. Or towards the end of my knitting last night, I was almost delirious with lack of sleep, and I'm like, I will not rip this out. So that's why it took me so long, but I did make some progress, so I'm pleased. And now let's see here. Christy says, I'll start with pattern 26. Oh, it's 27, but yes, 26. But really 27. When I finish the separating stitch part. Oh, yes, I see you say it's 27. Okay. Yeah. Oh. The separating part is like a little breath of fresh air, I find, in doing these, because the stitches, there's a reason why they're so beautiful. They're complicated, right? For a more experienced knitter, they're not really that complicated. Wow, I just kicked myself out of the experienced knitter category. I really have to focus, and in order to get these, like, get them. So where am I on this one? I am on, oh my lord, I stopped halfway through a row. Oh, and I didn't write it down. What have I done? Okay. Well, it is a right side row that I'm... Oh, it's a wrong side row. Okay. 18. I'm on row 18. Okay, good. Because I just had visions of me ripping and winding a ball. Again, in purple. That's not a vision I want. So, yeah. I did post, I don't know if it's shared on the forum. Like yesterday when I was saying why am I doing this whole, like, I can't seem to stop saying like this morning. What am I, a tween or a teen? I'll try to stop. I apologize. And now I want to say it again. It's like it's right on the tip of my tongue. My reason why, as you, Karen, and Christy, you know this because you heard it yesterday. But for everyone else who is watching right now, I do these helpful things. In this case, it's a 5-day knit along with charts and written instructions that I did out from Stitches, which I will show because we have some new viewers from this gorgeous book. It's worth every single penny. It's awesome. I do this so that people will get a chance to experience something new in their knitting. I would be very maybe upset with myself if I knew a knitter who was in proximity to me and, you know, we've knit together or I know them casually or something, especially if it was like a close friend or family member. If they said, I'm not going to knit anymore, I just find it so boring, I'd be like, what? And I would be very upset with myself for not trying to take them to another level, like get them up to try something new, experience something new. The stitches, there's so many stitches out there. There's so many gorgeous things to knit. And like so many things that you will not be bored with. I can't believe, well, I suppose because I'm so passionate about knitting, but there is people out there that do stop knitting because of boredom. They're like, knit, purl, all I do is make a scarf, garter. You know, that's sad. That's truly sad. So that's why I do this. Plus I like streaming. It's really fun. I don't get to knit often. I know, Christy! It's like knitting is not boring. It's like a euphoria when you, at least for me, when I start knitting, it's like, I just love it. It's just so much focus and your brain is just firing. All those little electricity things in there are just going. It's so good. Yes. Yeah, I agree. Christy, knitting can save lives. Like, this is one here sitting here saying it too. And I'm glad that knitting was there for you. There is a lot of people that I know that have absolutely no hobbies. Huh? Right? And that's not healthy. Right? It's you gotta have a hobby. For me, everyone knows my story. You know, if you haven't heard my story, if you go on my website, you can read my About Me page, and it kind of goes into it, but I'm not going to go into it because it's a long, drawn-out story. But basically, you know, I needed something to focus with and just learn to be passionate about life and everything again, and knitting was it. So when I picked it up again and had to relearn it, that was weird. You know, and relearn how to use my fingers and hands and all the muscles, everything going with it. Yeah, it was amazing. Knitting is amazing. And that's why I want to spread the love, spread the joy, help people. That's my why. In a big long blah. Sorry, that was my why. My post on Instagram is shorter, and I did put a little clip of what I said yesterday. I said it so beautifully and it was so tight. It was like, but this morning I haven't had any coffee yet. I have chai tea. I love chai tea, but when you're functioning on so few hours of sleep, you get a little giddy, and caffeine kind of like brings you down to the level. Christy says, I admire you. Oh, Christy, that's so sweet. Oh, thank you. You know, I love compliments. That sounds really weird, doesn't it? But, like, but no, seriously, I love giving compliments. And when one comes my way, I used to have a really hard time with them. Like, I'd be like, no. No, don't admire me. No. You know, oh, no, my knitting is not that great. You know, that's not very good to do to yourself. Like, that's not very nice. So for me, I made a point one day to say, I am not going to do this anymore. I'm going to take compliments, and gosh darn it, I'm going to give them out. If I see something that's really beautiful, or someone has something that's really nice, I think you ladies heard me, everyone's heard me say this, I think maybe like 2 or 3 days ago. Like, I will stop a person on the street if they're wearing a really nice outfit, say a beautiful dress, and they just look stunning. I will say to them, like, oh my goodness, you look beautiful. I love your outfit. And if it's really nice and it looks like it might come in my size, I'll say, where did you get it? But yeah, I think the world needs more of that. More knitting. More compliments to one another. Yes. So, yeah, so I guess someone's awake. I don't know if you can hear that. That's one of my monkeys upstairs. My child. I call them monkeys. Yes, I love that, Christy. Giving compliments is an exchange of energy. Wow. So that's my thinking face. The mice are running. No, that is so true. You give energy to people, positive energy. Exactly. It's like those positive energy that you give out with the compliments can really restore someone else's energy. And I love that you say here, Karen, be kind to all. You never know how much a compliment may make someone's day. It is so true. I was once in a knitting shop. This is a little, oh gosh, I'm on a tangent again. Good morning, sweetheart.
Can I make a cameo appearance?
You want to make a cameo appearance?
Okay.
Okay, come on in.
Hello. Hello.
This is my handsome surfer dude.
Yeah, my name's Wyatt. I'm making my cameo appearance.
His cameo appearance. You gotta look
just
great.
Just as a little thing, I want to tell you all. Me and Mom will soon be doing a live stream of Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yes, we are. That's gonna be fun. Listen, you've got to go upstairs and take these doggos with you because they are gonna rip and tear everything apart, sweetheart.
Close the workshop door.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, make sure he doesn't. Oh, take Marla. Make sure she doesn't stay. Sorry about the dogs there. Isn't my little boy cute? He is cute.
Can you come here for a bit?
Wyatt.
Do they need to be fed?
No, I already fed them, but they're gonna pretend. So don't listen to them. They might just. There's Charles complaining. Wyatt, Karen says, good morning.
Good morning to you.
He said good morning to you. Okay. Oh, do you think? Oh, I love his eyes. His eyes. When he finally opened his eyes, because his birth was, you know, something. When he finally opened his eyes, I just, like, my heart melted. Like, I mean, every woman's heart melts when their baby opens their eyes for the first time and looks at them. But yeah, what we're going to do, I don't know. Like, I don't play video games. I don't really have the mindset for them, because if I'm going to sit down and play, I'm going to sit down and knit, right? Or read or learn something. That's always been my way. I am autistic, so, like, high functioning autistic, so it's kind of like one of those things that goes with it. Yeah, so where am I going with this? Ooh, short-term memories kicking in. Oh yes, Wyatt wants to do a live stream where on this thing here we're doing, I don't know how, tech guy will have to come over and help us, but basically we'll play a video game together and you'll be able to see us playing and talking and playing this video game, and it's like, it's called Yoshi's Woolly World, and Yoshi is like this little Super Mario character. He's like a little, I don't know what he is, dragon, but everything, and I mean everything, in the video game is knitted. The characters are all looking like they're made out of knitted stuff. The whole background, the levels they have to beat, everything is yarn and knitting. And when I first saw it, I was like, yes! This is gonna get my kids into knitting! No, I got them into video games. Oh, Karen, I see what you say here about, yeah, your heart melts when you, yeah. How old is if you don't mind me asking, you don't have to answer. How old is...
Weird noises, like bark noises.
Who?
Marla.
Marla?
Yeah.
Oh, put her outside, sweetheart. Okay. Sorry, that was just why. I apologize. One of the dogs is making weird barfing sounds, according to Wyatt. Marla does that, the female lab that gets things that, like, clear her throat. Okay. Karen says, there's about 6 yarn video... Oh! There is video games out there today. So it's cool that knitting has crossed over to the gaming world so that our families can see the joy we get from knitting. Oh, I didn't know that there's 6. Yeah, I, like, where at the play thingy, do you call it a PlayStation, or it's like a Wii thingy? Wii? Anyway, where it is, I have my my gym equipment, so I'll be working out while he plays, and I enjoy that one. The other ones, they like spike my panic mode. The ones where it's like fighting and swords, and I don't let anything with blood. Like, I'm big on that. I'm like, if there's an age restriction on the box, it's there for a reason. So I go by that. Oh, Christy, your son's a 25-year-old little baby boy. Oh, so yeah, okay. I'm gonna look for those games too, just to see, because it'd be interesting. Yoshi has fascinated me so much that I'm tempted to take super bulky yarn. Get this, super bulky yarn. Hold it with 3 strands in the colors of Yoshi, like the little dinosaur character, and knit myself a Yoshi costume for Halloween, so I can go out with my kids trick-or-treating. How crazy is that? I know it can be done. So Karen says, I see people in my various craft groups say they are addicted to them. Yes. Oh, my guy, he loves the idea. He loves the idea of me going as a Yoshi.
Charles is being a birthday and trying to interrupt it.
Oh, honey, just play ball with him. He'll calm down if you do that, sweetheart. My little guy, he's so sweet, but he gets nervous if I'm not. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, he just loves being with me, which is so wonderful. Because when they're 25, like Christie's, they probably are like, ugh, hang out with mom when I have a chance to go girling. I'll probably be one of those moms when my son gets married. I'll be like, like, you know, no, don't marry her. She's not good enough. But, you know, probably if, see, I cannot, well, I can't say I cannot. I don't cook very well at all. So I can see my son falling for a woman who cooks like how my mother does, because he adores my mom's cooking. So maybe I should let him marry someone like that. That way I'd have someone to feed me in my older age, unless they put me in a crooked seniors home, which they all threaten to do. That's the 15-year-old teens. Yeah. So yeah, that's my idea, is to knit up a Yoshi costume, and I'll wear it in public for my babies. And yeah. He'll probably want to go as Mario. He's very, very fascinated by Mario. Although lately, because he is getting older and he's a tween, he's liking the more violent video games, which I'm not a fan of. So maybe he'll want to be something I have no idea what it is, but it's going to have like prongs and swords and things sticking out of it, like dangerous looking things. And here I am, Yoshi, this big costume. I'll look like I'm a mascot. Oh my word. Things we do for our kids. And wouldn't that just be the usual typical luck of us moms? I'll have that sucker all knitted up, ready to rock, and he'll be like, I don't want to go. I don't want you to come with me. I don't like that costume. I'm gonna Yes, Christy. So you say here that you're not sure how to say it in English, but in the Netherlands they say the love of men go through their stomach. And it's true. If you feed a man, he's going to follow you home. Just like a dog. Yeah. That's why for my single friends who are my age category, a group, or younger, and they're like, oh, I can't find a man. I'm like, well, you don't really need one. But if you want one, go to a restaurant. Go to the grocery store, because there's food. Don't go to a bar or a pub, unless there's food, because that's drinking. It's not good enough. Men want their stomachs fed, you know. And actually, so do women. I love chocolate cake, right? Oh, this chai tea is so good. Okay. I'm blabbing now. I'm sorry if I'm going on and on and on. I'm a little giddy because of the lack of sleep, but we're gonna focus. All right. So, I am on row 18, which is the wrong side row of pattern 27. And again, in the key for the SSK, because it does happen on the wrong side row. I don't know why I didn't put the wrong side row version of SSK. And last night, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm hitting all these wrong side SSKs, right? Slip knits. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what is it on the wrong side? because I'm a knitting in the round kind of girl, right? And by this time I had, by this, wait, is that on the first row? No. It was the, fourth? No. Fifth. No, that's not it. Anyway, it's on one of them. The 10th row, that's it. I hit that SSK, and I was like, how do you do this? I can't remember. On the wrong side row. So, I was so determined not to get up off my couch and just, gosh darn it, keep knitting. So that's what I did. But I figured it out. But I apologize. So SSK has to have, when you hit pattern 27, you're going to want to make a note in your key that the wrong side version of SSK, which at this very moment is eluding me, it's either purl 2 together or purl through the 2 through the back of the loop. So that way when you view it on the right side, you don't have a sudden weird, because you want that smooth, smooth, gorgeous, smooth line going up. And if one of the stitches is not slanted in the proper direction in that line, it sticks out like a sore thumb, and I hate that. So, oh, Christy says here, in Spain, twice a day, you have to serve warm food. Really? Huh. That's very interesting. That's really cool. I know, well, here it's not like, I'm in Canada, and in Atlantic Canada, which is like on the East Coast fishing area. Although I am not near the ocean, I am near a massive body of water. Like there's water everywhere around New Brunswick. So there's a lot of farming, and a lot of people have the old ways of making, like getting up really early, baking the bread, making the huge breakfast. Like we're talking huge. And then everyone gobbles it and rushes out to chores, right? So for us, yeah, we don't do 2 hot meals a day. And I'm sure my children would love that. In fact, they probably would love you, Christy. They probably would want to go to Spain just to be with you. Oh, yeah, we don't do, yeah, we don't really, see, Canada is such a new country when you really think about it in the scheme of things. We don't really have a huge cultural, we haven't really had time to make a lot of cultural customs for Canadians, because Canada is just a melting pot of all different nationalities, and it's awesome that way. Like, I just love it, right? But yeah, we don't really have like a Canadian other than pancakes and maple syrup. We're big on maple syrup. And tobogganing. Yep. So yeah, sorry, I just totally went sideways there for a moment. I'm just thinking, you know, people are going to be watching this later, because you know, you can watch these later actually on Twitch. Like if someone misses a time period, you can you can rewatch episodes. So if you missed something, or if you saw something and you want to see it again, you can go to Twitch and on my channel, and simply, if you're following, you can simply just rewatch any episode you want, which is so cool. And now I'm posting them. Oh, Unravel, Game Yarn. Okay, Game Yarn. Games Yarn related are Unravel Original and Unravel 2. I've never heard of those. Little Big Planet. Ooh, I've never heard of that. Kept Kirby. Oh, I have heard of Kirby's Epic Yarn because my son wants it, or maybe he already got it. Yoshi's Woolly World. Love that. And Nintendo Knitting Machine. The Nintendo Knitting Machine? Huh? Super Mario Sweater. Loom. Bubsy Knitting Mania. Yarn Amiibo. Amiibo. Broken Age. Holy smokes! Jazztune says, oh, good morning, Jazztune! Or good evening, wherever you are. I'd love to see how you work that SSK on the back row. I'm going to do it. Thank you. I'm going to do it. And thank you, Karen, for sharing those. The chat saves the things that you post. So I'm going to definitely take note when I go over it again, write them down, and see which ones are really fun for probably me. So, all right. So let's do, I'm on row 18. Rats, I meant to have just like a separate knitting to show stitches with, but I did. Got it. Okay, let's do an SSK. And before we do it, where's my phone? Where did I put that phone? There, I have my phone with me this time. I'm going to look it up. So that way I don't show the wrong way, because that would make me feel really guilty and bad. Okay. How to SSK. Oh, how to SSK wrong side wrong side. It's painful to watch me type on a phone, isn't it? It's just, my daughter hates it. How to SSK wrong side knitting. Oh, there it is at the very bottom after I type in everything. All right, here we go. Okay. twistcollective.com. They have an article called Decoding Decreases. And I'm just going to pull that up. I do love Twist Collective. Okay. They even have like, you know, I should have brought my iPad down. It would have been bigger and easier to see. Mental note. So there's knit 2 together. Okay, purl 2. The single decrease. Okay. Okay, so it says here, we know how to do it in the right side, you know, slip, slip, knit. Ooh, okay. The wrong side version of the slip, slip, knit is slip, slip, purl. Which maybe is why when I was doing purl two together through the back of the loops, it was still looking okay, which makes kind of this is the slant. Christy says, what slant does the decrease for the SSK go? This is the left leaning slant. Is always SSK on the right side. And according to this article, on the wrong side, to continue that beautiful left leaning slant, you must slip, purl. And it says here, slip 2 stitches individually as if to knit them. Slide them back onto the left-hand needle, we know that. Then reach around with your right-hand needle and purl them through the back of the loops. Hey, that's what I was doing. Cool. The maneuver is a bit awkward, but the result is good. Okay. Now there's another version here. I'm just double checking. There is a version. See if there's another way to do it. Okay. Okay, that's what I figured out last night. Last night when I was doing I tried purl through the back of the loop on the wrong side row, and oh yeah, Jess Soon says unless you're left-handed. So Christy says you'll have to turn your work 180 degrees and purl 2 together through the back. Yes. But if you just purl 2 together through the back of the loop on the wrong side row, you'll notice that beautiful left-hand slant, you're still going to get it. Wait, whoops, left-hand slant. You're still going to have that beautiful left-hand slant. But that stitch you did on the wrong side row, just as purl 2 together, is going to be twisted. The legs will be twisted at the bottom. It's not overly noticeable because it happened in mine. Do I still have it? I'll show you. It happened in mine and I was like, meh. Okay, where is it? Well, I know it happened because I looked at it and I was kind of like, oh, isn't that interesting? And of course I can't see it. Well, there you go. So it's not that noticeable. But, or maybe I picked it out. No, I fixed it. I remember now I did fix it for us. So, but to get the beautiful, smooth look on the wrong side row, you must slip, return the stitches tip to tip to the needle, and then insert your needle through the back of those loops, and then you kind of like, you know, like, maybe you can see with my fingers, like, so here's your stitches. You're gonna slip, they're on my right hand needle, tip to tip, transfer them back, and then insert your needle from behind to and between the legs of those slipped purls, and then kind of bring it around like how Christy said, do a 180 and then purl them together, and that will give you that beautiful continuous right side, left lean. So I'm going to demonstrate it. Just going to knit to a spot where I actually can demonstrate it. Alright. Wait, so it's supposed to be 18. Okay. Alright. Okay, well this is a good spot as any. So we're going to pretend that these two stitches right here need to be a left leaning decrease viewed from the right side. So that means on the wrong side we've got to do a slip slip purl. So go in like as if you were going to knit them and slip it onto the right needle. Slip the next one the same exact way onto the right needle, and then tip to tip return those stitches. They are now twisted. Their legs look funny, and that's what we want. There we go. So those are that's the first setup for the slip slip purl. Now we take our working needle, the right hand needle, we're going to go around and slip it through the back of the knitting. So I'm going to lean it forward so I can see, and you can see. Okay, that, oh, he went in focus just for a second. So I'm just taking the tip of my needle, slipping it through the legs from the back this way, and then I'm going to bring my knitting around Do you see how I now have those back legs over my right needle? And I can now purl just normally, two together. So when you take that off and you look from the front, ooh, I hit myself in the nose with these. I don't usually use straights. Where did we just do that? Okay, so we just did that stitch. Where did we just do that? Right here. It's not a really good example because I have a yarn over right there, but can you see how the stitch, it actually is leaning, trying to lean this way. Like it's doing its darndest to try to lean this way, to the left. I did it on a column of, well, on a straight column, so it gives it a funky kind of look, plus the yarn over. It's not the best place to do a demonstration on in the knitting, but I don't have any SSKs coming up on the, or sorry, SSP. So when you get to 27, please write that in next to SSK, SSP in the key. I don't have any of those coming up, so I wouldn't be able to show you because this is so slow knitting for me, pattern 27. I wouldn't want to make you sit here and be like, oh, you know. Okay, so that's it. So it is exactly like Christy said. You saw how I had to turn the needle. Oh, wait. Saw how I had to turn that needle once I had gone in through the back. It's like whoosh, like that. So it's in the purling position. and then you just simply purl. Yes, exactly, Jazz Tune. So it's purling through the back of the loop, yeah. But in order to make sure that the legs are not twisted on the other side, because purl through the back of the loop without the first setup, doing the slip slip, will give you the twisted legs on the right side. So make sure that you do the slip slip part first. So that is that, yeah. Was there any other stitches, like while you were going through it, maybe on nights, was there any other stitches that were troublesome? Anyone find? I think we've pretty much in our past shows that we've been together, I think we've kind of battled through most of them. But if anyone who's new, who's joining us today, and you want to try this and you've got your printout, you know, sing out. I'd love to know if I can help you. Plus, we have so many experienced knitters in this in the chat right now. If I can't answer a question, I'm sure, you know, we can totally get help. So don't be afraid to chat, because we'd love to hear from you. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'm going to keep going with this here. I think I'm going to give it a try to knit while I'm talking. Oh, okay. Christy, yesterday you answered my question. Perfect. Okay. Jazz says, the slip 1, knitwise, purl 2, PSSO. Okay. Where's that? So on the wrong side row, it's simply knit 3 together. But on the right side row, let's do a demonstration of that. I'm going to take out that little thing I did, so I can show you on the right way, or at least okay. So that stitch on 27 appears on, well, right there, row 3, and it's to get that left leaning, wait, is that the left leaning? Yeah, that left leaning decrease. So, oh wait, no, so on round 3, it is just a simple knit 3 together. Let's see where we can find it. Oh, it is on round 3, and it's the right lean. I thought that was, okay. So it's the very first decrease on round 3. Slip 1, knit 2 together, and pass 1 over. Okay, so that would be, let's see if I can go back this way. Yeah, so here's the right side. We're going to slip 1. We're going to do it knitwise. Slip 1. Then we're going to come in and do knit 2 together. So we're just going to knit those like that. And the stitch that we slipped, see that one right there? That first one we slipped? Its legs are oriented. Let's see. Yeah, its legs are oriented. So when we bring it over, the knit 2 we just completed, that really works out nice. Do you see how it's definitely doing a lovely slant? Yeah, that's quite pretty. I think you can see it. But you know, just as Jazzoon says, that same stitch on the wrong side says it's just okay to knit 3 together. That's correct. On the right side, because if you flip it, right above it, I've got written knit 3 together. And yeah. Easy, thank you. You're welcome, Jazzoon. You could just knit 3 together as well on the right side row to get that angled slant. Oh wait, what am I? Sorry, just 1 second here. Okay, I did the demonstration correct. It's just my brain had to catch up. Sorry. Okay, so that's knit 3 together. No problem. We know that one. This one here is the slip 1 knitwise, knit 2 together and pass the slip stitch over. So that does appear on row 3. Yep, perfect. Okay, because I had confused myself just for a second there. Yeah, no, that's good. So it's a really easy stitch to do. Just remember to just take it step by step through the directions. Yeah, and you won't have any problem. Actually, I'm going to undo that now before I forget. Voila. And then you'll hear all the way. Christy will hear all the way from Spain. She'll hear me screaming, "Not ripping again!" I hate having to rip back. And for the people who have just joined us, I was telling the folks at the start of the stream, I'm going to move this. This is pattern 27, which actually I was so excited by the look of it. This is pattern 27. Mind you, it's not blocked, so it doesn't have the full beauty of it yet. But it's really coming along. Yeah, it's really coming along. I think once it's blocked, because of the initial soak, those decrease lines are going to pop. They're going to look beautiful. I'm really loving how the decrease creates a line in the knit section, which is a little higher up. Yeah, it starts on round 9. It almost looks like an organic, like the petals of a flower. I just love it. Like those lines in flower leaves. I don't know what they're called. I can't remember at this moment. But they're flower line leaves. Leaves, flower lines. There we go. I'm just going to take a quick peek at 27 in our gorgeous book. Okay. Let's see if I can lay them side by side. Oh, look at me bend my book. Isn't that awful? I'm so going to have this destroyed. I got to get this spiral bound, or yeah, I think I'll get it spiral bound, and then because I'm just weird like that, I'll buy another one and keep it nice for posterity. Okay, right, wait, sorry, yeah, what was I doing? Okay, I'm going to move the keyboard. Watch me ruin the stream by touching the wrong key. and tech guy had a hiccup last night. His little girl wasn't feeling well, so they didn't actually arrive back to our community. They're still in another province. So if I mess this up, woo! We'll have issues. Or at least I'll have issues. Okay, so here is 27. It is pretty. Christy says she's eager to start 27. I was too. It is pretty. And let's see, like a side-by-side comparison here. Needles. There we go. I'm going to stretch it out a little bit so we can get the effect on camera. Yeah, it's coming along. I don't know who does the sample knitting for the book, but whoever it is, I wonder if it's Hitomi Shida herself who does the sample knitting, because that's stunning. Like, I'm looking at mine and I'm like, oh. Christy says, wow. It's neat to see it come along when you have them side by side. I'm going to try to pull it. Maybe it's just because mine isn't blocked. We'll go with that. No, my tension is off for 27. I know it is. Because I don't have lace knitting needles. For those who don't know what lace needles are, they're just like normal knitting needles, except they have a sharper point. And the reason why is it makes it easier to dig in and do those complicated twists, like we saw with the SSP, how you have to go in from the back, get down through those little holes and swing it around. A finer point is much easier to do it with, theoretically. Actually, every lace knitter I know has told me it's much easier. My needles, the ones that I'm using, these are from the 20s or 30s. Tech guy, the guy who's helping me with this live stream with the tech stuff. Eventually, I will learn it myself. He gave them to me. And these needles here, like, I love the old-fashioned look of them. They were either his great-grandmother or his grandmother's. But she was an avid knitter. I did meet her once, long, long, long ago, when she was over at his house. She was a really sweet lady. And she always bought with her. She always brought with her homemade wine. Her husband would grow raspberry bushes for her. And she would make this homemade wine, and she gave me a sample of it, because I had never tasted raspberry wine before. And I'm not a big drinker, but I do like having alcohol with meals and social settings. So I'm not like poo-poo on alcohol. It has its time, it has its place for me. So she gave me I swear, it's like she brought even the little crystal. It's like a thumb. It was as big as a thumb. What are those things when you use for sewing? They go on your thumb so you don't hurt yourself. Thimbles. She gave me a little sample of it in the thimble crystal glass she had. And I was looking at that thinking, oh my goodness, I'm Canadian. This, I drank that, and I literally was almost seeing double. She made her homemade wine so strong Like, I'm sure if she was sitting next to someone just breathing and they were smoking, the house would have went up in woof, big flames, because that was so strong. I was like, holy smokes. And I watched this woman while she was visiting have like 4, and she seemed perfectly fine. I was thinking, wow. Anyway, side story. Christy says, I'm working on wooden straight needles from Knit Pro. Oh, really? Wooden straight? Do they have a finer tip? Like, are you finding when you're digging in for your lace, like the laciness of these stitches, are you finding them working well for you? Also, if you're working on a heavier weight yarn, like I'm using a sock base yarn that I bought by the pound, so it's very fine, but I think if it was a thicker... Oh, you say they are great. Jazz2 says she likes using square needles. I've not used square needles. When I was in New York for Vogue Knitting Live to take classes down there, they had some square knitting needles set out, and it was so cool because different knitting companies would allow you to try their products, so everyone could just sit and knit for a while, whatever, stitch, because it didn't matter, on the different needles. And I did try them, and I found them like, ooh, this is weird. And I liked it, but I never picked some up, and I should have. Oh, thank you, Christy. I would love to see your needles. Like, I would love to see them. I see here that you say you're going to post a photo of them on the Facebook group. That would be great. I would love to see them. Are they unique to Italy, or is it something you can get everywhere? Because I don't remember hearing the brand name Knit Pro. But that could be because I live such a sheltered life. But yeah, Jazz2, I really liked the square knitting needles. I just didn't buy any at the time, and I'm not sure why. And since then, I haven't really thought about them. I see them every once in a while in a magazine when I pick them up. I'm like, oh yeah, square knitting needles, those are nice. And I forget. So... Okay, so Chrissy says in the US they have another name, Knit Pro. Wonder if it's Knit Picks. Don't know. Huh. They're from the UK. Okay. You know what? I might just, for fun, Google that after the stream, because, you know, if that is a really good product, like I'd like to try it. Okay, so it was Knit Pro. Knit Pro. And you said they were wooden. Were they bamboo? I can't remember. Oh, you got your square ones, Jazz2, from Knit Picks. I have ordered from Knit Picks before. They're called Foursquare. Okay. I'm going to check out the price of those too, because I'm a thrifty kind of girl, you know what I mean? If I can get a good brand at through a different source, for an excellent price, you know, I'm all over that, because that means more yarn to buy. Christy says that, oh, her needles are not bamboo, and that those beautiful wooden needles are, she thinks that it is Knit Picks in the US for the Knit Pro. That's the US version, or the US name for Knit Pro. Where I'm going to go anyway to look at Foursquare. I think that's where The set is on sale now for $30 to $35 US. Now, when you say set, Jazz Tune, what do you mean, like a, pardon me, because I always knitting around. I'm thinking, is it like, okay, let me see here. Karen's saying something too. Did you know that if you put the items you want in your shopping cart or wish list on many shopping sites and don't buy them right away, the website will send you a sales special on them? You know, Karen, I've never noticed that, but that makes perfect sense. I'm going to try that. That's actually a really good idea. And that's how you got your Japanese book on Amazon.ca. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to try that. You know, like exiting out or signing out with something in my wish list or my cart. And that way, see if they'll trigger a coupon or something. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, because they want a sale. So if they see that the sale process suddenly abruptly, you know, they're going to like want to have that sale so they can get the money. So yeah, and that's what I'm going to try that. So Jazz Tune said there was a set on sale for $30 to $35 US. When you say a set, do you mean like 2 knitting needles, like a set of knitting needles? The square ones? Or are you talking like a set as in a set with the wire, or pardon me, like when you knit in the round, how you have the interchangeable tips with the coils? I'm thinking you're talking about a set of 2 square knitting needles, because I know they are expensive. Now, oh, there's so many good things here. Karen says honey.com is a coupon site you add to your web browser to show you coupons per website too. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I agree with Christy. I didn't know that, Karen. And like Christy, I buy a lot online because I'm pretty remote. Plus, I really think the UPS guy is cute. And he comes to my house and he pats my dogs. You got this book for $15 Canadian? No shipping free, brand new? Oh! I'm jealous. I'm seriously jealous. That was my little boy would say poopy face. That's when he was little. Oh. Okay, Jazz Tunes just clarified for me. The circular needle set comes with about 8 sets of needle tips and with the cord, etc. So you really get a lot. Was that the one you said it was on sale right now for $30? Because if it is, like, I might have a spontaneous yard sale. Sorry, I might have a spontaneous yard sale and buy some. I suppose I could still, like, you can't see it because it's behind you, but my stash is huge, like huge, of yarn. I love my stash. I suppose I could always do a yarn yard sale. Spontaneous. No, I can't give up my yarn. I can't. I only can build the... No, I won't go into that. I love this yarn. Sorry for reaching over you. Oh, Jazz Tune says yes. So it is on sale. And you can see it on Knit Picks. What did I say before? Yes, Knit Picks. You know what? I'm going to put down Knit Picks because watch me forget that and I'll be like, la 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 la, and miss out on a good sale. Like, Karen got for the Japanese book. I'm glad you got it, Karen. I'm happy for you. I'm just really sad for me. Knit picks. And I'm going to put sale. There we go. Christy says her needles are birch wood, and they're square needles. I've heard that they're very soothing for the hand. So if you have issues with your hand, like I have issues with my hands, like with the my sense of touch and feeling in my hands. So I wonder if that would work for on the days when it's raining, my hands get really sore. Karen says, I have a set of birch wooden DPNs, double pointed needles. They are hardwood. I was surprised. They're very nice to work with. Okay. Haya. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Hiya. Or haya. I always say haya. It's probably wrong. They're bamboo needles. I have used those too. Actually, I have some around here somewhere. And they are awesome. But I'd love to try a hardwood. There's just something about a hardwood that is very lush. Do you know what I mean? When you can knit with things that are... I don't know. Not that I'm a knitting snob of any sort. Yes, I am. I find I love using the tools. Like I'll even go to the dollar store and pick up tools if I need it. If they have what I need and I need it, you know. But as much as I am a thrifty girl, I love the really nice stuff. So Karen says about, there's a sales tracker for Amazon to download to show you sales when they occur. That's good to know because I'm not always on Amazon. So Karen also says her bamboo hayas, they are my fave and they feel like air. Yes, and take all strain off my hands. That would be nice because I find, anyone have this issue? Like I find my wrist, I find my wrists ache quite a bit right through here. And of course, the finger joints. But I find if something's quite heavy and I'm knitting, it will, it kind of decreases my enjoyment on those rainy days when it's really pronounced. Like, I don't usually take pain medication. I usually use mindfulness I know people are going to say that's wacky, woo stuff, but it works. Like I usually use mindfulness to control pain. But I would love to try a product that is light. Now Karen says, I buy DPNs, which is double pointed needles, sets online for 5 needles per size. 5 needles per size? Oh, I see what you mean, yeah. 11 different sizes for like 2 to 6 per batch, and they are great quality. The odd one has a rough spot, and I have to sand down with sandpaper, but 4 to weeks shipping from China or Japan. Okay, they come in 4 to 8 weeks from Japan or China with free shipping. That's not bad. Actually, that's really good. Yeah, I would totally take sandpaper and just buff any rough edges. Now, who was it? So 55 double pointed needles, Karen says, for $6 or under. In a price, I will take it. Yes! Oh, that is awesome. I would be really you know, knowing my luck, I've got the weirdest luck. I can tell you some really super heinously embarrassing stories about things that have happened to me over the years in public. But knowing my luck, I would get like a needle that's, you know, like a little sad face. Karen says, due to my dexterity issues from medical conditions, I knit 2 mitts at a time, so my tension is even on the few rows I knit each. Yeah, when you do it 2 at a time. That's a good tip. I never thought of that, because when my hands are sore, like I usually knit, like when I knit mittens, I do 1 at a time. I've never really tried 2 at a time. That's something I should give a go. But that makes sense. Oh, you use a lot of DPNs. Okay, double pointed needles. That's for the people who may not know what that is. Has anyone tried the short tipped, and they're pretty pointy, circular needles? They're 9 inches long, I think, 9 inches long. And they're meant for socks, and definitely for mittens too. Okay, so Karen says she does. So Karen will work 1 mitt and then work the other mitt. So she works this one, stops, and does the other one that's on the needle. I'm going to have to find a YouTube link for that, because I think it's always fascinating. Now, Christy's asking Karen to use the other method of knitting 1 sock into the other. Yeah, that's a cool method. Who was it? Just a second. Sweet Pea, I'm streaming. No, don't let Charles in, sweetheart. The dog. Oh my gosh, he'll just come bounding in and tear at things. Oh, cool. I'm glad. I'll be right there, Sweet Pea. I'll talk to you in a few minutes, okay? My little guy. Where was I going with that? Yes, I was taking a class from, it wasn't Susan B. Anderson. It was another person. The Yarn Harlot. What is her name? She's Canadian, and I can't remember her name. Oh. Yes, the, yeah, she was saying that when she does that method, now Christy says it's Meg Swanson or Elizabeth Zimmerman's method for doing the 2, like 1 inside the other when you're knitting it. The Yarn Harlot said that when she did it, she found that the one that was inside, was just slightly smaller than the one on the outside. Which kind of makes sense because it's inside, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense. So I never tried it, because I was thinking, that's a whole lot of fancy knitting for something. You know, I probably could do faster 1 at a time. So I didn't do it. Chiagu needles, or Chiagu. I can't remember how they're pronounced. They're the ones that make the little short sets for knitting in the round for socks, and you can use them for mittens too. I love them. Like, I love them. I can speed knit. My thing is, I need to get things done fast, right? So, because everything I knit right now seems to be all my own design, so I don't really get the luxury of knitting someone else's designs at the moment. It'll come. But I have to speed knit. So those little short circulars, I can just zip right around on those, and it's so lovely. Oh, not to do magic loop. Like, it's so lovely. Okay, so Karen says, oh yes, the Yarn Harlot. She is hysterical. She is. She was so funny in the class. I honestly haven't read any of her books. And almost every knitter I know, they have. So maybe that would be like something really wrong to say in public. Christy says she hasn't tried that method. Where I'm thinking you're talking about the one where it's inside, but you're curious about it. That would be something to YouTube, I think, just to get a good peek at it, to see what it's like. If I had a spare moment, like spare knitting time, where it was, oh, the dogs, leisure knitting time, then I would definitely give that a go. Probably just to see what just to get the experience, so I can say, oh yes, I've done that, you know, because. Okay, yeah, there is a lag between the messages. You're right, I am seeing that too. Okay. Yeah, and you can find it on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, I love YouTube. Like, seriously, what would our world be like without YouTube? It's amazing. Like, there's so much knowledge to be shared. Does anyone remember before internet, when... Actually, that's a really stupid question. I apologize, because I know there's knitters in here who have years and years of glorious experience of knitting, so obviously you would know. I remember having to go actually to the library to find things, and the encyclopedias were guarded. Like, you had to be so careful with those suckers or those books, right? And now it's like the library, a whole library is right on your smartphone. Hold it in your hand. I find that amazing. But as a knitter, I love it. You know, YouTube. YouTube is awesome. And you know what is another really good one? Is Pinterest. I do have a Pinterest account. I'm knitting designs on it. And I have posted some of my inspirations. And I hope you can still hear me over the barking dog. Anyway, Pinterest, yes, I have. Oh, so you remember doing that too, Christy, going to the library and had a subscription to a craft magazine. I think I had one subscription once, but it was more for. It wasn't like an adult version. It was. Meaning like for older knitters or experienced knitters, it was more like the little kids version of crafting, but they did have some knitting in it. Yes! Karen just said the old card catalog. Remember those? You pulled out the drawer, it was like, whoo, and you would flip through them to see which ones what book is where, you know, you'd be flipping through them. Yeah. I think I've once pulled out the drawer when I was at school and like ripped it out, and I wasn't paying attention, of course, and cards went pooh, and you know, I think I had a suspension from the library, which most kids would have been like, whatever. For me, that was like, you know. Now, Christy says, that must be the name of the magazine. Aridine. Oh, I can't pronounce that. I apologize. But it was Dutch, of course. Okay. Really? So Karen says her local library has a great craft section for, like a great craft book section. And they have a lot of old books, but they still get new books. That's really good to know. Because it's good to see that they care about the crafting section at libraries, you know. Yeah. And, oh, you still have your magazines. I'm like that too. I keep my books and my magazines that I purchase. oh, so Karen says, I've seen bootleg copies of that beautiful, I think it's Ari Ad. That was bad. Anyway, and they're beautiful. Christy says, great Karen, you're amazing. Yes, you are amazing, Karen. You are. You know this internet stuff. Like, and that's the thing. The more you're able to play with it, you can get so many good goodies off the internet with knowledge and learning to do stuff. And Christy says, oh, she's a Greek goddess. It's the name of a Greek goddess? Or is she a Greek goddess because she does such good knitting? Like, you know how Debbie Bliss has her own magazine? You know, I actually met Debbie Bliss and her daughters, and they're really nice. Debbie Bliss is hysterical. Oh my God, she's so funny. She was saying she loves sewing. And that's the thing I find in most libraries. The sewing section seems to be overtaking the knitting section. That bothers me a bit because, you know, my passion for knitting. But, yeah, I do sew. I'm just taking a quick look at the chat here to see what Karen says. You're online a lot as you have mobility challenged with many medical conditions. I hear you. And stay home a lot. Oh yeah, I hear you. So my world is online, my own encyclopedia of useless info. I bet you would kick butt. I hope I don't get banned for saying the word. We'll call it B-U-T. Yes. On that show there with the Canadian guy with the mustache. Jeopardy, I think it is. I don't have TV anymore, so I don't watch TV. I have internet. So you could totally clean up some serious cash if you went on one of those shows. So useless information, pshaw. No, it's good stuff. I was going to say something. Oh yeah, Debbie Bliss. I met her once. She absolutely adores. She absolutely. Oh, I'm going to see if I can get this book without ruining my live stream.
Whoa, sorry.
No, watch the dogs.
Sorry, Mom.
Oh, that's okay, sweetheart. Just, you know what? It's okay. They can stay
For a bit.
They can stay for a bit.
Oh, this is my secondary cameo, I guess.
Yes. Aw, I love you too, sweetheart. Listen, did you get your cereal?
No, but I did do something. Once you're done that live stream, and about World Hero, I managed to get all the way to the castle, and we have currently 6 Yoshis to choose from.
60 Yoshis? That's so cool.
6 Yoshis.
Oh, 6. Okay.
Then you could choose from one, a flower, a tree, I think a circus, not a clown, but a circus-looking one. What was the other one?
Okay. Well, listen, sweetheart. Mama is...
Oh, and we got the cow one and Shy Guy one.
Very cool. I can't wait to see them when I'm done. I'm almost done, but I gotta do this live stream and I'll be right out, okay? Go get a drink of water. You haven't had water yet, I can tell.
I hope you do good.
Oh,
you have my approval.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a thumbs up.
Thank you. I may have been lost in the conversation. Between the dogs running through and trying to knock me over and my little boy, I can tell you. Yes, this book is lovely. This is Debbie Bliss. She adores sewing. So a lot of her inspiration, like this book here is about designing for babies. Like this shows her thought process of how something goes from one to another to an actual design. There was a picture in it. Maybe it's in the other one. I have her other one for designing adult garments. All right. She likes to collect antique linens, like clothing. And she will actually use the shape of the sewn item that's an antique and then do the knit version of it, which is really cool to do. I learned how to do that actually. But she was in England. She was at one of their textile museums, and they had a piece that was out, and everyone was wearing those cotton gloves that don't leave fingerprints and skin molecules or anything. And everyone was like, they had to put on, the very clean coats and clean gloves. And the curator was with her, and he had the drawer pulled out with the item is laid in it, and everything's at a perfect temperature to preserve it. She said as she was leaning over it, and she was just like in awe of this gorgeous little garment. It was like a baby's christening gown of some sort. She by mistake actually drooled on the outfit. The curator didn't notice because at that moment someone else had flagged his attention for something, and she was like, pat the wet spot. So she was saying that in the future, if they ever do a DNA testing on this garment, they're going to find Debbie Bliss's DNA on it, and wonder like, how did that get there? Oh, Jazz Tune says my little guy sounds like her little boy talking about video games. Yeah. And Debbie Bliss, yeah, that's the woman who that when I was in that Vogue Knitting New York trip, my one and only Vogue Knitting, she was one of the instructors at the time, and I was taking a class from her that was about inspiration. So we didn't actually get to knit, but we were learning about inspiration and where you can get it from. So that's why that story came up for her drooling on it was like a 200 or 250-year-old christening gown. That, like, can you imagine if the person had actually, like, the curator had caught her doing that? What would happen? Well, she's Debbie Bliss. Maybe they wouldn't do anything really, but I'm sure a person like me would end up banned from the library. Banned from the thing. Probably fined such a huge fine I'd have to give away a child and a dog in order to pay it, right? Or sell a child or a dog, I meant. I would never do because they're my babies. So I'd love to see that, Christy, that Arianden, hope I got it right, magazine you mentioned. I have a couple of old magazines from Italy that I received from a German lady back when I was in university, and I love them. They have a lot of knitting in them, but mostly they have crochet, which is fine, because I am going to learn to crochet. But the technique, the Italian technique, is like, oh, very nice. So I'm just going to write that down to look it up. I'm sure it's on Pinterest. Pinterest. And if I can, they might have like a book with the best articles in it. Maybe I can find one of those if it's within my price range. There we go. And that's a magazine. Thank you. You know what? I learned so much every time I get to come on and chat, and I hope that you're learning a few techniques from me, although today it seems like all I've done is babble. But I love the sharing of information. Like, this is great. This is what knitters should do. It's almost like a quilting circle, which I've never belonged to. I do love quilting, but I don't have time to do it. But yeah, it's like it's a social thing, and knitting should be social because it is kind of solitary because it's an action we do on our own. But when it can be done together as a group, it's awesome. Okay, so magazine. There we go. All right, I'm gonna look that up later. I just marked on my book. Nope, I didn't. Almost had a little panic attack there. Like, eventually this will be covered in notes. You can even see I've got my precursor to writing in the book. I paid a lot for this, Karen. I didn't get a good deal like you. Christy says, every day we are learning. Yeah. Karen, it was pretty cool. Yeah, if you ever get a chance. I don't know if they do Toronto. Did you say you were in Toronto? I'm sorry, Karen. I can't remember where. I know you're Canadian. I don't know where you are. I can't remember. But, where I was, totally lost my train of thought. You can see I need that coffee. Oh. Have you ever tried coffee, like a specialty coffee where they actually put like Belgian chocolate in it? They called it a Spanish coffee. Christy, maybe you have heard of it. Or it might be they just lied and made that name to make me buy it. But they put chocolate in, and oh my gosh, it was so good. Oh, you're in St. John, New Brunswick. You're just like a hop skipping away from me, Karen. Okay. Yeah, nothing ever comes here to New Brunswick other than Knit East. And I do go there. Which is actually pretty good. They did have some big name designers. This past year, there was a few big name designers. Previous years, there was a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna get mine. I'm gonna do that too. So Karen, you've gone to Knit East. Christy says in Spain they use thick chocolate with churros for breakfast. Is a churro a pastry or is that a drink? I'm pretty sure it's not the cereal Cheerios. Because that would be, oh my gosh, a thick piece of chocolate to wake you up. Next time they do Knit East, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be streaming continuously because I really like doing this. If anyone wants to meet up at Knit East when it comes to St. Andrews in New Brunswick, Canada, that would be so cool. That'd be really cool. Oh yes, there is a, Karen, you're right. There is a fiber festival in Woodstock, New Brunswick in the spring. I did go to it the first time they did the fiber festival. My gosh, Karen, you know? Okay, there's a fiber festival in Heartland area in the summer and fall. Lots in Nova Scotia. I'm gonna have to look those up. I love going them. To festivals, fiber festivals are so much fun. They can break your wallet though because you get so many chances to buy so much gorgeous yarn, right? Oh, Christy says the chocolate Cheerio, it's a pastry fried in oil. I probably shouldn't say that part with such delight because fried foods, we're supposed to be all like healthy conscious, but chocolate in a pastry, oh. I would forgive it being its little swim in oil before it gets to my plate, because I love chocolate, especially dark chocolate. Nova Scotia. Oh, I didn't know that, Karen. So I will look that up, because Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island, those are two provinces here in Atlantic Canada, they've started up a Facebook page with their own fiber trails detailing the festivals and businesses involved in the fiber industry. Awesome. And you dip the Cheerios in that thick chocolate? Oh my gosh. How do you ever leave the breakfast table? Like, seriously. Okay, so Karen, you've had them. Love the cinnamon dusted ones dipped in chocolate. Oh, Karen, you were a chef by trade. Okay. I'm very sorry that you're ill. I know it's very hard to deal with being homebound with illness, because I've never done that. But you can cook, and that's a skill. That's a skill. I can bake a bit. Like, I can bake bread. I am going to find this Cheerios recipe online, Christy. And then I'm going to find the most decadent thick chocolate. I'm assuming that it's chocolate that's been melted and it's still warm in some sort of like pretty pottery thing. And then you dip it in, and ooh, and then with a coffee. Heaven. Oh my word. You know, if I did that every day. No, that wouldn't be very good for me to do it every day. I'd be tempted to. So Karen says, yeah, I know, I hear ya. It's been a while for me too. It's your new normal. That's what they keep telling me. Your new normal. Okay, so Christy, it's just wheat, salt, and flour. And Karen knows where they get the dark chocolate. Yum yum. Walmart. Great big bars for baking. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, new normal. Actually, every day is a new normal. That's the way I try to look at it. That way, you know, like on a rainy day, I don't know if any of you out there have issues with mobility. Well, I know, Karen, you've been talking about it, but others who have issues with mobility or with your joints, or nerve, whatever those are called. When it rains, I really feel it. I don't know why. I always thought that was like an old wives' tale, like, oh, my joints are aching because it's raining today, or I can tell it's going to rain because my joints are aching. Well, guess what? I can. It's so weird. So Christy, oh, it is okay. So it's flour, not wheat. Because I was thinking, where am I going to get me a big bag of wheat? You know. So if it's just flour, I wonder, is it baking flour, like pastry flour, or regular flour? I'm writing down. Oh, barometric pressure for you, Karen. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, see, for me, it's when I feel it when it rains. Maybe it is the barometric pressure. I don't know. So I'm going to write down the word for, I have to try this. Even if it looks completely ugly, but as long as it is tasty. Oh. And my 15-year-old, she's the one who, she cooks. Like, she is an amazing cook. She takes care of Mama. She's so good. She's also a little brat. But I love her dearly. So I gotta figure out how to spell it. Churros. 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 Ooh, talking about that, it just makes my wrists are aching just doing the writing. Silly me. It could be because I've only had 4 hours of sleep and I've done nothing but knit until 2 in the morning, and then what was it, 5? Yeah, I think it was 5. Maybe it was 6. Maybe I had 4 hours of sleep. And then get up and knit. Maybe that was too much knitting for my poor old bones. Who knows? I'm going to still knit anyway afterwards. What was I going to say? Yes, I have a new deep fat fryer. I don't know how to use it. My mum does. But maybe I can get my mom to help me try those churro pastries, because even though she says that she's all healthy, I know she's a sugar queen. She loves that stuff. Well, I'm so sorry, ladies. Like, I've been chatting along about food. Chocolate. Oh, I love chocolate. I find when you know, interesting fact. Here's a little factoid. Chocolate actually helps with your pain, and that's why chocolate is so popular, because of the chemical in chocolate. It's like blah blah blah, big long word. But basically, the synapses in your brain where the little neurons jump from each other, like the little jump. There's the synapses. When pain gets in there, it causes like zzz, zzz. Well, chocolate chemical actually helps to bridge that, so it can make you feel better. So maybe that's why I love chocolate so much. We'll go with that. Well, I see that it is 11 o'clock in the morning for me. I've got 2 dogs. I wish you could see them. I wonder if this... Oh, I'm so hesitant to move anything because I know tech guy will be like, what have you done? The dogs are literally, they look like the yin and yang symbol because one's yellow and one's black. And they're literally right at my feet, encircling me, you know? So I know they want attention. I've got to go see what my little guy's doing. So I'm going to say, oh wait, what's Christy saying about chocolate? Oh no, Christy, you eat chocolate. Oh, okay. Oh, I got it now. You eat chocolate when you have a headache. I read that, like when I read it quick, I thought you said that when you eat chocolate, you have a headache, as in get a headache. And I was going to say, oh my goodness, how horrible. But no, it's true. If you eat chocolate, it helps with headaches. Another thing that helps with pain and headaches, believe it or not, is caffeine. They do put caffeine in a lot of pain medications, but you can also, like if you took a Tylenol, it's like, that's a name brand painkiller, like you can get off on the shelf. If you take that with coffee, it enhances how quickly it's absorbed into your bloodstream, and it makes those little synapses where they're kind of like colliding and hurting so bad, it makes you feel better. Oh wait, I eat chocolate when I have a headache. And Christy, you say they do? Do you get headaches when you eat chocolate? Oh, chemical caffeine. Okay. Yeah, oh, you're talking about the painkillers that pharmaceutical companies put out where they've got the caffeine built into the painkiller. Yeah. Karen says, that's really interesting. I did not know that about sodium. Because I did a lot of research on pain I didn't like how many pain pills I was taking. So I went with the mindfulness route. Karen says sodium does too, unless you have a heart condition. Oh, don't do that then if you have a heart condition. Be wary, but it cancels pain to the brain via a brain to nerve channel in the body. That is neat. Maybe that's why there's so many people out there that when they're stressed, which is a form of body pain, right? Like it can make things ache because all that cortisone, they rush for chips. Like yum, 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 you know? Christy, you use it for low. You know what? I have a cousin that who has to use sodium for low blood pressure too, and that is frustrating. Oh, interesting, Karen. Yeah, it's funny. Tech Boy. I gave him a bag of bath salts because his kids, he's got a daughter about the same age as my daughter, and I gave him a bag of bath salts and for him to use because he was like aching from something I can't remember, and it was scented and he loved the smell of it, but he was like, I can't use bath salts. It'll raise my blood pressure. I can't lay in a tub of bath salts. But now maybe there is salt in it. I don't know. But on the bag it says magnesium. Like 100% magnesium with fragrance. I was like, I don't know if magnesium raises. So, poor Tech Boy. I love making fun of him. But we've known each other for years and years and years. Like, years and years and years. Well, ladies, I'm going to say good afternoon to those, or good evening, wherever you are, or good morning. I'm going to go hang out with little Wyatt and find out what this woolly Yoshi guy does on his thing, and I'm going to have to figure out how to make lunch. No, that's not true. My daughter will. That's even worse. Okay, so that was Charles saying he wants to go upstairs. So thank you so much for joining me today on my stream. I really, really appreciate it. It is so much fun talking to you all. It's so fun. And I'm glad that we're doing the knit along, and I'm glad that we are progressing in it and having fun. So in Spain, it's 4:11. Oh, you're just in the middle of the afternoon. Okay. Well, I hope you're having a nice sunny day. Bye, Karen. So, bye, everyone.
Bye.
Unofficial bye. So, what was I going to say? Oh, yes. Make sure for the new folks who have joined us and didn't participate in the chat, that's totally fine. Don't worry about that. Just make sure you click the follow button so that you can find it easy. So we'll say bye for today, and thank you for joining me so much. Bye, everyone. You.
Goodbye.
Oh, you're so cute.